Girls Talk Shirts. Hey, everyone.
Hi, guys.
I'm going to apologize now. This is Savannah for my nasally congested voice. But that's actually why we didn't have an episode last week, was because I was literally on my deathbed. I sent Emily a Snapchat of myself, and she can attest.
She sounded terrible. You guys would not have enjoyed listening to her last week.
So I'll apologize now if I randomly have a sniffle or a cough, but I'm on the back end of it. Thankfully, the Lord pulled me through. So after last week, we talked about, or not last week, the week before, we talked about a pretty heavy topic.
Yeah.
And like the last time we had a pretty heavy topic, the next one we wanted to be
just light and airy.
Yeah. Fun. Not necessarily always fun, but just easier to talk about.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be crying.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to be falling apart here. So,
and by nobody, she means me. I will not be crying this week. I've promise.
I've seen you cry more doing this podcast than I have in the 16 years.
Yeah, I know.
We've known each other.
Honestly, once I started having kids, my body was like, we're going to be real emotional about everything at just any moment. And it's a lot of fun, I got to say. Yeah. You just never know when a tear might fall.
So this week, we kind of want to talk about preparing our children for the endeavor that is kindergarten.
Yeah.
I know you can attest because Atticus is far into elementary school.
He's in
the
second grade now, yeah.
So he's gone through it. He's gotten used to it. But we want to talk about kind of things that we have discussed amongst each other, just what we're trying to do with our girls, because they are coming up on that time.
I know.
Not this coming school year, but next school year because of their birthdays. Mm-hmm. They'll be starting kindergarten, which is just crazy to even think about. There might be tears shed because I'm thinking of Graceland going to kindergarten, and that is just not okay. So yeah.
So just going to school for your kid, what's it all about? I'll let you know. It's really nice not having one of them there for the majority of the day. Then you can focus on the other ones that you have, which in my case is more than you.
Yeah.
But you know what? Atticus was so excited to go to school. Like we have mentioned several times on this podcast, he is a very, very social butterfly of a person. And so going to school is the absolute perfect place for somebody like that. Maybe some people say, oh, school isn't a social thing. Get out of your head, because
that's all it was for me.
That's all school is. With, it's just a plus that you get to learn something by the end of the day. And he has done great. When he went to kindergarten, at that time we were living in Kentucky, and he didn't do any sort of like VPK or pre-K4 type of thing. I was telling Savannah that during that time when he could have gone to a pre-K4, one, we were in the middle of moving to a brand new state, and two, it was in the middle of COVID when that happened. And so I don't even know how things were working then, like where we moved, like what their pre-K4 system would have been like, how easy it would have been to get him into it. But we did fine, like having him stay at home. And that's most likely what I'm going to be doing with my other two kids, Eloise and Bo. Just keep them at home with me until they actually need to go off to kindergarten. And some of the things that I did with Atticus to prep him for kindergarten was I found these videos on YouTube. You can search them yourself. It's free, and they have a ton of content. I don't know how often they refresh their stuff, but it's ABC's 1, 2, 3. It's not like it's changing every single year to where you need to be putting out new stuff all the time. But it is called Preschool Prep Company. You can just go on to YouTube, type in preschool prep, and you can find their YouTube channel. I will put the channel details in our description box so you can find it easily. And I love it. Like I said, they have different ABC videos. They have one that just goes over every single letter of the alphabet, and it shows you like what a capital letter looks like and what a lowercase letter looks like. And then they have one that goes over the phonics of every single letter, so you can learn what each letter sound is. They also have one about numbers to help your kids recognize numbers, and they do it slowly. So they have several different numbers ones. Like the first one, I think, just goes from 1 to 10. And then they have one that goes like from 11 to 20 and so on. And then they also have math videos, like when you want them to start learning, like easy, like addition problems. And then it gets a little bit harder and harder, with as the videos go. And it's just great. I have started showing those videos to Eloise and Bo whenever I can, and they seem very into it. They also have like colors and stuff. Like if your child still like needs help recognizing colors, they have that, and shapes and stuff. Like it's all sorts of stuff. I love it. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
So there's that on the YouTube. And then go to your local Office Depot or Staples. Take a nice big whiff. I love the smell of a Staples or an Office Depot. If they could put that in a candle, I'd buy it all up. I'd put stock in it because I think it smells so good. Mm-hmm. Who else is out there with me? Give us a like if you also think that a Staples or Office Depot smells really good. No, but seriously. Also with Atticus, what I have done right before he starts each new school year, I will go to either an Office Depot or Staples, and they have like a student section, and they have these books for like each grade, and it has maybe like 200 pages in it, and it just kind of goes through like different things that they would be learning for that year, and it just kind of like gives them a little bit of prep before actually starting.
So it's not
school.
Like brand new whenever it's introduced to them.
Yeah, exactly. And I have just made him do like a few pages a day, like over the summer, mainly so he doesn't lose that kind of that momentum that you get like when you're in school and you're doing, classwork every single day or homework or whatever. If he's just doing like just a couple pages a day over the summer too, then when he goes back to school, it's not like, oh man, like I got to get back into the rhythm of like actually doing work. Like
right.
He's had it throughout the summer too.
Right.
But yeah, I mean, that's literally all I've done. And he's not a genius by any means, like he's not like off of the charts, but I mean, he is doing very well. It really is just his talking that we have to get under control. He just loves to talk. And doesn't always talk at the right times. Sometimes there is a quiet time when you're not supposed to talk. Mm-hmm. And he is still learning that discipline. But yeah, with everything else, he's doing like right on course with everything. So
well, I know whenever you first told me about the preschool prep, I did bring it up to Graceland and show her a couple things. I think we showed her like the 1 through 10 mm-hmm. video. And I think there was another one that she saw and she was into it. We started using these like workbooks with her that get her to kind of figure out how to like hold a pencil correctly or things like that. And then her grandparents, my in-laws, actually gifted her a subscription for ABC Mouse.
Ooh, that's nice.
And so she has that on my iPad and we do that with her. And there are times that she's more interested in, so sorry. That she's more interested in the tickets that you get for like doing an activity. Yeah. You get these little tickets and you can buy like, you have a fish tank, you can buy fish, or then you have like a farm, you can buy the farm animals. And she has all of these different animals and like, that's what she was like focused on. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, we got to get more tickets. So like to get more tickets, you have to do the activities. Yeah. And so she really likes whenever you first bring it up, it says like, welcome back, Graceland. Yeah. And she has a little avatar that like looks like her. And she has this like plan that they do all this curriculum. And by the end of it, like it's supposed to be like she's learned what she needs to for that part or whatever. And so she likes seeing where on the map that she is. And she does really good, and it goes through like the alphabet, and it teaches her how to write, like, so she'll have to like do it with her finger, and she draws it, and then there's things that's like, it'll give her a bunch of these boxes, and it says like, click on the bees, and she has to like find all the bees. And so it's been helping her a lot just with recognizing like certain letters. Because that was something that she kind of struggled with, was the recognition. Recognition? That's not a word.
Recognition. There we go. See, we shouldn't be teaching our children.
Do not put me in charge of this. But that's the part that she was having trouble with. And it's the same with numbers. Like, she can tell you like she has 2 fingers, but if you show her a number 2, she was struggling with like knowing that was a number 2. And so I think that's been really, really helping her. And then there's parts that's reading a story, but it's sounding it out, like the words for her. So like she's learning kind of not necessarily how to read, but just the idea of it. And then we give her those books to help her like write the letters, but to, what am I trying to say? To like know how to hold the pencil to do it. Because on the iPad, she's using her finger.
Yeah.
So the books have been helpful in that sense. And then just like little things like, we'll write out her name, and I'm trying to teach her like...
She's got a long one.
She does.
How many letters are in her name? Like 7?
8.
8? Okay, yeah.
Same as my first name. See, when I was in elementary school, I had a long first name and a long last name.
Yep.
So like my whole name is 21 letters.
That's ridiculous.
Not now, but when I was Hazel Baker, it was that many letters.
Yeah.
I have to cough again. So yeah, we've been using those workbooks. I know... With Graceland, she's pretty shy.
Yeah.
And her pediatrician specifically has been very opinionated in the sense of pushing that we should put her in some sort of VPK, just because they are concerned with how she's going to do going into school. But I will say, ever since we started putting her in the dance class and then also taking her to Sunday school, she goes right into these things.
Yeah.
And she actually does really well. She's very social with other kids.
Yeah.
It's just the big people that she...
Yeah, I think she's fine. I mean, like, I don't know what your pediatrician's talking about. I think she has honestly grown so much since starting dance class back in, what was that, like August? Like, she now like confidently walks into class every single week.
Yeah.
And so I think give her like another year, like she's going to be perfectly fine.
Yeah.
I mean, put your kid in VPK or a pre-K4 thing if you want to. Like that, I don't care.
Yeah.
Go ahead and do whatever you want. Yeah, but don't feel pressured to do it at all. Like, good grief. Give your kid, like your kid is a kid.
Yeah.
You know, like who cares if they're a little shy? They don't have to be as outgoing as Atticus. You know, honestly, I wouldn't mind if he could rein that in a little bit, you know, like for a while, Anthony and I were having to do like stranger danger tests with him to make sure that he wouldn't just go off with anybody. Like, don't go to anybody that, you know, offers you candy, that has a weird looking band that says that they're friends with mommy and daddy, because we're not friends with anybody. Okay. Yeah. Don't trust them. Turn and run and scream as loud as you can so other people are aware that something is happening. Right. You know, like legitimately we would do this with him like every single night.
Yeah.
Haven't done it in a while. Probably should refresh his memory on what to do if, you know, a stranger comes up to him. But yeah, I mean, I think it's totally normal for your child to be a little bit reserved.
Right.
Especially around people that they don't know.
Yeah.
Like, what is the issue here?
I remember the 1 week of dance class that I was very late and I was like driving there super frantically, and I texted Emily and I was like, hey, like I'm going to get there and like I just need you to come and get Graceland out of the car and like take her into class, and I will go park, and because the parking situation at our dance class,
it's not ideal.
Not ideal. So you have to basically hike a mile to finally get there. So I was like, I'm going to pull in the parking lot. She's going to jump out. You're going to take her to class and then I'll park. And thankfully, by the grace of the Lord, there was a parking spot there. But I had prepped Graceland that entire ride. And I'm like, okay, Emily is going to get you out of the car and she's going to take you to dance class. And she's like, why can't you I'm like, it's fine. You know, Emily, it's okay. This is the instance I'm going to tell you it's okay to go with somebody. And then I have to like reiterate, like, okay, but don't ever actually go with anybody unless I'm telling you to. Yes. And then we get there and she didn't even have to. But But yeah, I think also we have discussed the girls going to the same school. So I think even just the idea of her knowing that Eloise is there.
Yeah.
I think that makes a huge difference. Mm-hmm. But also I just think she's just getting better with her confidence with other kids.
And you have to understand, like when the girls were born, a few months after the girls were born, the entire world shut down.
And I think people forget that.
And so like they didn't have the same, I mean, they definitely didn't have the same childhood that you and I had. No. They didn't have the same childhood that Atticus had, like when he was that age, you know? And so like when we finally started going to like church again when we were in Kentucky, like Eloise, you know, didn't have that because everything was shut down for months. And so when we finally were able to go somewhere and take her to like a nursery room, she like freaked out. I mean, it took a little bit of time for her to get used to that. And I think a lot of kids coming out of COVID are still getting used to being around other people and having, you know, the structure of school or whatever. Like it just takes a little bit of time. Like their brains are still forming.
Right.
Like just give them some time.
Yeah.
Like
and
they are okay.
That's what I think people forget, you know, when COVID shut down. I remember it was my birthday of 2020 because Aaron and I were in Treasure Island and it literally shut down while we were there. Like the beach shut down. You could not go on the sand. And that was 4 months after Graceland was born.
Yeah.
And so like, you know, going into motherhood, Aaron and I said like, we are not going to be the parents that are scared for people to hold the kid.
Yeah.
Let her get socialized. Let her get to know you. If you want to be in her life, be in her life. Here you go.
Yeah.
And I remember at the hospital, people came and visited. Here you go. Hold her. Like, I wanted her to be loved and to just love people. And then the whole world just was like, nope. I'm going to
stay 6 feet away from me.
I'm going to keep you in your house for a little bit. And, you know, we had to go through COVID, but also Aaron and I still were working. We still had essential quote unquote jobs. And, you know, we couldn't take her anywhere. Like it was just our parents that kept her or it was us. And then with me working in the hospital, I didn't really want to go around a lot of people if I didn't have to, because I was so scared, petrified that I was going to get COVID and take it to somebody. Yeah. And so we didn't see anybody. We didn't do anything. And I mean, I call her a COVID baby, and some people don't even know what I'm talking about, but I think people truly forget that there was a time where there were still kids being brought up who didn't get socialized the normal way. I mean, I was put in daycare when I was 8 weeks old. I grew up in daycare.
Yeah.
I am still friends with the girl that I met 8 weeks old. We were put in the same daycare. Like, we're still friends. But we both grew up in that system, I guess. Mm-hmm. And, you know, it's a totally different world when the world gets shut down.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think Graceland has definitely come a long way. Those who are around Graceland, I think, can very much attest for that she's grown so much from what she used to be. It was, if you're coming to somewhere new, she would scream.
Yeah.
And now, you know, she still doesn't make full eye contact with grownups, even people that she sees on a very normal basis. But, I mean, she's doing a lot better.
She's doing a lot better. And I think a year from now, like as we are prepping them for actually going into kindergarten, I think she's going to be fine.
Yeah.
But back to school stuff. I think there are so many things out there, whether it's electronic learning that you want to do or go the route of like having an actual physical workbook that you can get from a Staples or Office Depot or whatever. I just think that there are so many tools available nowadays that I don't think anybody needs to worry about their child being unprepared for school, even if you don't do any of these things. I think, especially kindergarten is just geared for just learning like basic everyday stuff. So like if you're out there stressing I'm here to tell you, I don't think you should. I think that's silly for you to worry about.
Well, social media can make it seem so scary too.
Yeah, because that's why we wanted to talk about this, because we were just talking at dance class the other week about, both of us seeing separate TikTok videos of women, telling us like, oh, your child should be doing this at this age and this in that age. And like, if your kid can spell their name at, 2 or 3 years old and be writing all this stuff super young too, like, great. That is fantastic. Run with it. Do all the things. But if your kid isn't doing those things, I think they're also fine. Like, I don't think you need to worry that they are dumb and unable to learn. I think, they're going to be just fine. Mm-hmm. Don't stress about it. Jeez Louise.
I agree. Because the amount of things that kids can retain is so different from like when they go to school, they're going to be learning so much more than what they're like learning at home because they're in a learning environment. Yes. Like that's what it's geared for. Mm-hmm. And so it's just, I think just let them be kids.
Yeah.
And
I mean, that's why I think it's so nice, all the different ways that they can learn. Like there are like different like shows. Like I know that there are some stuff on Netflix, like Number Blocks, Word Party. I don't know if you've seen these shows. They're shows that I, put on for my kids. I am very cautious about the things that I play for my kids, especially on different platforms that I maybe don't agree with everything that they put on there. I am very cautious of what I am allowing them to watch. And so I don't know if maybe you are weary of Netflix shows, but Number Blocks and Word Party are two that I really like. Number Blocks is just that. It's just different blocks of numbers, and it shows you like how adding the different numbers together makes another number. And it's just that, and each episode is only like 5 minutes long. So it's just short little episodes of like adding numbers or subtracting numbers. Word Party, again, is another little show, very short episodes. And it's just these different little kids. They're like different like baby animals, and they are babies, and they are just learning different words every day. And they like repeat the words like over and over again to help your child, also learn the word. Blue's Clues, like simple things. Dora the Explorer, you're learning Spanish at the same time. It's a wonder what they can do with TV these days.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a lot of different stuff. You mentioned ABC Mouse, which I think is great. You do have to pay for a subscription for that. But there are other things out there. I have one on my phone. It's called Khan Academy Kids. That's KHAN Academy Kids. It is free. It's very similar to ABC Mouse. I think it focuses a little bit more on reading than ABC Mouse probably does. But it is free. And so that's why I have it on my phone. Eloise has really gotten into that. She is my bookworm. She loves to read anything and everything. So she really likes to read or have it help her read out the books that are on that app. I'll put all of this stuff in our description box and tell you like where you can find all this stuff. But there is just so much out there on TV, on the internet, in a bookstore that you can get for your child if you are worried that they aren't learning. Yeah. For Christmas, I got Eloise this little, I think it just is called like My Preschool Book or something like that. And it has several pages in it. And each page is, what's it called? Laminated. Mm-hmm. And it comes with like different colored dry erase pens. And so it has several pages where you can trace letters and numbers. And then it also has several pages for like Velcro stuff for you to match like numbers and letters to their match, so it's like a matching game that you can play. I've only done it a couple times. It's difficult because I have her and Bo at home. And so if I'm doing something with her, I kind of always have to add Bo to it, which is fine because they are only 13 months apart. So, I mean, if he can start learning a little bit here and there, then he'll be, I guess, a little bit ahead by the time he goes to kindergarten in 3 years. But sometimes it is difficult because because he is a year behind her, he's not where she's at. So sometimes it's difficult to kind of keep him entertained while she wants to do the learning. Right. But that's just my own personal struggle with it. But yeah, I think there are just so many different options out there to help prepare your child for kindergarten. And then for each grade after that, if you want to just get them a little bit of prep before going into the next grade, I think it's great. I did learn, like when Atticus was in kindergarten, I read somewhere like how important it is to keep them reading every day, especially like over summer in between like kindergarten and first grade, because if you don't, then they can lose like 70% of all of that like reading ability or whatever that they had just like mastered.
Yeah.
And so I would once they start learning how to read, just like make that a part of like your routine, like just like 5 minutes a day, just try to get to read with them. There are books out there. They're called Bob books. And they're just very short little books that have just like very easy sentences like the cat ate, the cat sat, like very like short. There's a term for these kinds of words. I can't think of it right now.
Sight words.
Yes, sight words. Oh my gosh. Look at you, Savannah. Yeah. So it's just like we have a very special birthday happening on the day that this episode will be dropping. It's Savannah's 31st birthday.
Ooh. Happy birthday to me. So yeah, we thought we could talk about birthday shirts.
Birthday shirts. Or
So
your birthday suit.
I don't think everybody needs a birthday suit. So birthday shirt specifically. I mean, I don't know if it's technically a birthday shirt. Are we talking about the shirt I told you?
We can talk about that, or we can talk about, I know that you are the type of person that likes to wear like an actual thing for your birthday.
I am. Yes, for my birthday, I do like to let it be known that
let everybody know that it's
my
your
birthday. My birthday is on the 19th today that we're releasing this. But I typically celebrate my birthday on St. Patrick's Day or around St. Patrick's Day. So in previous years, I have had shirts made that revolve around St. Patrick's Day that have like the shamrocks and then it says birthday girl. I typically wear something that says birthday girl, whether it's a sash of some sort, a crown, all the things. So this year I was on Amazon searching for shirts because I didn't think I could order anything like too specific or too personalized this soon. And I came across a very funny shirt. And we're not going to get political on here, but it was of Joe Biden. And it was a 4th of July, or it was a St. Patrick's Day themed shirt, but it was showing like Joe Biden saying happy 4th of July. And I was dying at it. I had to tell Emily about it whenever I came in this morning.
I think it's hysterical.
It is not the shirt that I got for my birthday.
I would wear it proudly.
But, I thought it was pretty funny. I haven't fully decided which one I wanted to order. There was one that says like lucky to be the birthday girl or something, because I don't like to put like my birthday is on St. Patrick's Day because it's not, but I usually celebrate it.
Which is interesting because my husband, Anthony, his birthday is actually on St. Patrick's Day. And we don't do anything like St. Patrick's Day relate. Like sometimes like he like will get like a green cake. And that's the extent of the actual St. Patrick. Like we're not like drinkers or anything to where like we're celebrating in that way like a lot of people do. So, but it's good that you're out there celebrating when we aren't.
I am celebrating both my birthday and Anthony's birthday. So I will do all the celebrating. But yeah. So I don't know what my shirt will look like by the time this has dropped, the St. Patrick's Day will have already come and gone.
Why don't you, whenever you do get whatever shirt you have, take a picture of yourself and we can post it the day that we drop. Like that can be our post about the new episode being out. And then I'll also add that the only other picture that I can think of you celebrating your birthday and wearing something is that sash that you had when we had fine arts practice and you came in with the sash. And I think you also had maybe a birthday crown or something. So we can also put that on the post as well.
That was my 18th birthday.
Yeah.
That was a big birthday.
I know. I've been there for all the bigs.
Yep. You really have. There's a picture somewhere on my Facebook. It was my first birthday dating Aaron, but it was that night that I was pregnant and my cousins, if you guys remember from previous episodes, my cousins found out I was pregnant before my parents did because I did not order a drink at my birthday dinner and they thought that was odd. So they pulled me in the bathroom at Smoky Bones. But there's a picture with me in a sash. And then, but yeah.
Smoky Bones, their cornbread is so good. Have you ever had their cornbread? And their butter that they give you with the cornbread is like this pecan butter. It is so good. That's really the only thing I like from Smoky Bones. That and the donuts that they have for dessert.
Oh yes,
I can go there just for the cornbread and the donuts.
I don't think I've had the cornbread.
I can leave everything else off the menu.
They took all the good things off the menu. So
they have changed. So get it together, Smoky Bones.
All right, guys. Well, I think that is all for this week.
Yes. Thank you for listening. I don't know if anybody out there listening was struggling with figuring out what to do with their kid because they're about to start kindergarten in this upcoming fall. And maybe you're like, oh, what do I do? My child knows nothing. This is the episode for you. It's okay if your child knows nothing because that's what the teacher in school is for.
Yeah. Don't let anybody pressure you for anything. Every kid is different.
Yeah. Every kid learns differently at a different pace in a different way. It's fine. Don't stress about it. It Lord knows I'm not stressing about it.
Everything will be A-okay.
Yes.
Just go with the flow. The Lord's got you.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you guys for listening. This has been another great episode of Girls Talk Shirts with Emily and Savannah. So we hope to see you guys, or I hope you guys listen to us again next week.
Yeah. See you then.
Bye.
Bye.